What would occur if another planet suddenly took the place of the Earth's moon? Imagine waking up one day and discovering that the moon has been replaced by Jupiter, Uranus, or any other planet. It would have a significant and far-reaching effect. The weather on Earth could be disrupted, our planet's orbit could vary, and the tides could fluctuate. The discovery of a new planet in the night sky could be interesting, but the reality can be very different. It might even turn out to be terrible. What planet could we possibly use in its place, and what would that mean for us? And with which planets could we remove our moon without risk? In this video, let's attempt to respond to these queries. The moon is a huge celestial body. In actuality, it has a diameter that is roughly equal to that of the Earth, making it the largest satellite in terms of the size of the planet it circles. Additionally, the moon is the only satellite that is physically larger than Pluto. Therefore, we would regard the moon as a credible planet in and of itself if it were orbiting the sun rather than Earth. The moon's orbit is not a complete circle, though. In actuality, the orbit of the Earth barely minimally perturbs it. However, that is a subject for another day. Let's just pretend for the moment that the moon is a rather large object and that it is significant to our solar system. For life to exist on Earth, the moon is also necessary. It not only aids in balancing the tilt of the Earth, but also steadies the planet's orbit. The upshot is that the Earth's climate is generally predictable and steady. In addition, the moon has a significant impact on nutrient circulation and ocean currents. These essential processes would be thrown off without the moon, resulting in extreme weather patterns and disastrous floods. In other words, life on Earth cannot exist without the moon. We benefit from regular weather, stable sea levels, and a safe environment because of the moon. We can't just let our moon take a vacation and leave our planet on its own anymore. Everyone dislikes being alone, after all. So we would search our solar system for a substitute. The planet Earth is distinctive in our solar system. It not only harbors life, but it also has a sizable moon that aids in regulating its spin. But what if we replaced our moon with a planet that is 41 times larger than it? The planet Earth would change drastically. But let's talk about replacing the moon with the tiniest X-planet, namely Pluto, before we get to that really dramatic phase. What if you awoke one day to discover that Pluto had taken the place of the moon? It might not seem like such a horrible thing at first. After all, the size and reddish color of both bodies are about the same. However, appearances can be deceptive. Pluto and the moon may look identical, but if they were to switch places, the consequences they would have on Earth would be extremely different. First of all, Pluto's gravitational pull is weaker since it is smaller than the moon. The outcome would be a significant change in the climate and a myriad of natural calamities as the Earth would start to wobble all over the place. Additionally, lesser ocean tides would result from the reduced gravitational pull. Important ecosystems that depend on the tides for survival would be severely harmed by this. In other words, it would be a catastrophe on an unprecedented scale. But what about a planet that is only marginally bigger than our moon? Imagine observing the moon seems a little different than normal as you wake up in the middle of the night. Even when you're half asleep, it's barely perceptible despite appearing brighter and larger. You return to bed without realizing that you just seen Mercury up close in place of the moon. The closest planet to the sun is like our own natural satellite. Rocks from space have caused craters all over its surface. Mercury is slightly bigger than the moon despite being around 2/5 the size of our planet. Because of this, the planet would have a bigger impact on Earth. The nights would get lighter, the high tides would rise, and the low tides would fall. The lunar cycle, which is the amount of time the moon, or, in this case, Mercury, takes to complete all of its phases, would be cut by 14 hours. Our moon is 1.5 times larger than Mercury, which has a dark gray surface covered in asteroid craters. If Mercury were to replace our moon, it would look exactly like it. Mercury would have a similar effect on our tidal systems and climate as the Moon does, therefore replacing the Moon would not be devastating. Mercury is a more stable planet that wouldn't provide as many issues for life on Earth as the Moon does, so replacing the Moon with Mercury would be a smart idea. Overall, though, it wouldn't be all that dissimilar from our daily lives. Mars, the closest red planet to us, is an exception to this rule. We wouldn't be able to see the Moon in the sky at night anymore. Mars would take its place, looming enormous and illuminating the Earth with a sinister red glare. Tsunamis would be reduced by Mars' enhanced gravitational attraction, but normal waves would grow significantly. Longer days would also occur from the Earth's rotation being slowed down by Mars' tidal forces. A 16-hour workday may not be ideal, but it would be interesting to explore how our world would alter if Mars took the place of the Moon in our night sky. Next, we have Venus, the identical twin of Earth. Venus appearing in our night sky would be terrible for astronomers. Venus would reflect 60% more light than the Moon because, among other things, it is significantly brighter. We would be unable to experience darkness as a result, which would disturb our sleep cycles and create a variety of issues for nocturnal creatures. It would replace our familiar satellite with the third brightest natural object in the sky. The size of Venus in our sky would be comparable to how the Apollo astronauts previously perceived Earth to be when they observed it from the Moon's surface. For starters, the morning star would be significantly brighter than the Moon. The planet would cover an area at least 16 times larger and would reflect 6 times more sunlight. Because of this, Earth's nights would be as bright as today's early dusk. You could see hazy whirling patterns on Venus' cloud cover if you were to glance at the planet. Venus is also 3.5 times larger than the Moon, forcing Earth into a binary system. It is likely that the two planets will revolve around their shared mass. It follows that as our planet began to revolve around Venus, the weather would become erratic and unpredictable. This would eventually end in the two planets colliding or merging, which would cause extensive destruction and the death of many people. Then, what if Neptune or Uranus were present instead of the Moon? These two planets are comparable in size to the Moon and are both ice giants. Both of them would occupy a sizable chunk of our sky if one of them were to be there. Additionally, because they are both blue-green in hue, they would make the sky appear significantly differently. However, there is one more distinction between Neptune and Uranus that stands out. Uranus has a foul odor. Its moniker is actually the farting planet. Although the exact cause of Uranus' foul smell is unknown, the methane present in its atmosphere is most likely to blame. Therefore, if Uranus existed in our sky, it would not only look odd but also smell awful. Naturally, having Neptune or Uranus in our sky would have benefits beyond aesthetics. These planets would significantly affect Earth's rotation and tides because of their size. To protect beach buildings from being carried away by powerful waves, cliffs had to be raised above the ground. And this would disrupt life's regular routines. My favorite celestial sight would be to see Saturn in the night sky. If Saturn took the place of the Moon, it would be quite a sight to witness. It would be magnificent with its light yellow color and ring structure. However, there would be certain difficulties. The enormous golden globe would span 18 degrees of the sky because the planet is more than 35 times bigger than our satellite. Additionally, the rings would extend farther from horizon to horizon. Despite being a little farther away from the gas giant than its own moon Dione, Earth would become Saturn's satellite rather than the other way around because of how much more powerful Saturn is. Unfortunately, the Earth's rotational speed wouldn't be able to keep up, and after a day or two we would probably collide with the much larger planet. But first, we have to travel past Saturn's stunning rings before igniting in the gas giant's atmosphere. It wouldn't be simple to pass through them uninjured because they are composed of fragments of comets, asteroids, and broken moons. However, even if the fall had not occurred and Earth had continued to orbit Saturn, it would not have been the Earth we know today. The environment would shift, the days and nights would be longer, and the gravitational forces would be different. It would essentially be a whole different universe. Even if it would mean bidding goodbye to our lovely moon, it would be amazing to glimpse Saturn in the night sky. Finally, let's go on to Jupiter, our big guy. What if Jupiter took the place of the moon? Similar to the arrangement with Saturn, Earth would join Europa, Callisto, and Io as a satellite of Jupiter. You wouldn't even be able to see Jupiter's north and south poles because it is 41 times larger than the moon. Jupiter might take the place of our moon, and the results would be interesting. A massive, exquisitely striped sphere would span almost the entire horizon because the gas giant is several times bigger than the moon. You could see yellow, brown, red, and white clouds drifting in Jupiter's atmosphere if you had time to take in the spectacle. Sadly, the gravitational attraction of the gas giant would immediately trigger enormous earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis. Jupiter would attract the mantle and crust of Earth, shattering the planet. The gravitational pull of Jupiter would shatter the Earth. Simply put, it wouldn't be attractive. Be grateful that the moon is there the next time you glance up, since otherwise we wouldn't be thinking such uplifting things. Therefore, substituting other planets for our moon won't result in particularly positive results overall. Although it will be breathtaking to watch the lovely planets in the sky in lieu of our moon. What planet do you believe you would most like to see in your night sky? Please share your opinions in the space provided below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video as well, so that you won't miss any updates regarding humanity's space exploration.